Made in the USA, how to play. The object of the game is to be the player with the least amount of points at the end of the game. The object of each round is to be the first player to play all your cards in your hand. The game ends one of two ways. When the game over card is revealed from the changes in the win deck, or at the end of the round when at least one player has over 500 points. Set the Old Glory card aside and shuffle both decks separately. Deal out the Made in the USA cards to each player until they have the amount corresponding with the number of players. 10 cards for 2 players, down to 6 cards for 8 or more players. The player with the 7 of stars plays it in the center of the table and goes first. If no player has the 7 of stars, then the first player clockwise from the dealer with a wild card plays it in place of the 7 of stars. If no player has a wild, then everyone draws a card and you try again. There are 4 suits: stars, eagles, shields, and bells. These cards can be played from your hand onto the table vertically if it matches the sequential suit, or horizontally if it matches the numerical value. You must always be connected to another card. Until the other suits have been played, the first player to play horizontally decides which column is for which suit. You may replace a wild on the table with the correct one in your hand. The other type of card in your hand is called an event card. You are allowed to play one event card at the beginning of your turn. A blockade prevents players from playing. If a player is blocked, then on their turn they draw one card. If they have a lift blockade in their hand, they may play it and continue their turn as normal. If they don't, they end their turn. During your turn, you may legally play as many cards as you like. If you cannot play a card during your turn, you must draw a card, which you can play if you can. Otherwise, end your turn. The only card that cannot be played on your turn, but instead on an opponent's turn, is the Don't Tread on Me. Whenever another player tries to blockade you, you may play this from your hand to negate the effect. All played event cards are placed under the draw deck. The Old Glory card marks which row or column was last played. Old Glory starts the game marking the stars column. If at any point during your turn you play outside the row or column marked by Old Glory, then at the end of your turn you must flip over one Changes in the Win card and follow its effects. It is then the next player's turn. Old Glory is always moved to the last card you played. Once the player has played all the cards in their hand, the round ends. Players receive points for unplayed cards in their hand. All cards 2 through 10 are worth 5 points each. Jack, Queen, and King are worth 10 points each. Aces and event cards are worth 15, and wilds are worth 25. Aces may be played above kings or below deuces. However, once the first ace is played, all other aces must be played in that row. The player with the lowest score when the game ends wins.